All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is the last day of June, Monday, June 30th, 2025. It is the 181st day of the year. That is the 42nd prime number. And I just want you to see how every big buzzing story is about 42 today. And of course, this is nothing new. What we educate about every single day is how the propaganda is contrived. And what is the propaganda? The stuff that's in the national news every single day without fail. It's essentially the mind control. And if only the average person could grasp that they might as well just turn off the news and stop letting it guide their thoughts and their emotions, because that's what the people who put this out want you to do, their system would break down. And the people who put out this propaganda, we do need their system to break down. Another sad thing is here in the States, we pay for a lot of this propaganda that our governments orchestrate to steer our minds with, so that we'll continue to pay big tax dollars for the needless overkill with police and military. And for all the people who think that's wrong, again, it's because you're under mind control. So just to make the point, we talked about how yesterday this was a clear tribute, the supposed shooting of Idaho firefighters by a sniper who took his own life after setting the fire to attract the firefighters into a trap. We talked about how yesterday this was clearly a tribute to Ruby Ridge in Idaho. And today they give you the name of the shooter, supposedly, and it looks like a really bad AI image. But his name is Wes Rowley, which are the same initials for Randy Weaver, just inverse. RWWR. Randy Weaver is the name associated with Ruby Ridge. But yeah, here we are on the 181st day of the year, the 42nd prime, and Wes Rowley has a gematria value of 42. And again, what they're trying to undermine is the Second Amendment. It said two firefighters were killed to undermine the 2A, the Second Amendment. Gun and ammo have that gematria of 42, just like Wes Rowley. Again, if you're new here, it's a very simple way to get these numerical values. Wes Rowley equates to 42 when you take the alphabetic order with numerology applied to each letter. W is the 23rd letter, E is the 5th, S is the 19th letter. The numerology of the 23rd letter, W, is 2 plus 3 is 5. E is already a single digit, so E is 5. S, the 19th letter, is 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Sometimes you're sharing this information with somebody who's new and they're like, oh, so really you're just like manipulating it to get it that way. So you want, and when people respond like that, you can kind of tell they're kind of stupid, and you can tell it's cognitive dissonance and they're just trying to escape. No, numerology is not something that's considered a manipulation. It's considered an occult way of finding the true value of numbers. It goes back to Pythagoras, the original Freemason, as many people would accredit him. Some others would say the original Mason is who built the Tower of Babel, but again, different schools of thought. Pythagoras had a secret society that studied this occult knowledge, very number-oriented. Of course, Pythagoras had all his numbers. But the point is that numerology is a study within the occult. It's not considered a manipulation. It's something that's used. And this is explained about the English language, this exact system, in a book that was published in 1926 by Manly P. Hall, who focused on the occult and how the occult were in control of the United States of America. Also, if you have a brain, it should be pretty obvious that there's number rituals in the news every day. If you take the time to read the stories, just numbers that are inserted that don't need to be there. So anyway, Wes Rowley, 42, fits in with the theme of today, and we're going to go through the theme of today. I did put out a short video on this earlier. If you missed that, you can check that out. I also put out a video yesterday on how they paid tribute to Ruby Ridge, with the shooting coming 53 days before the anniversary of Ruby Ridge. And again, if you're new here, small way, big way, 134 days from the governor's birthday, while Idaho is at the tail end of being 134 years old. Okay, so the next story today. The month began with the anti-Semitic attack on the Boulder pro-Israeli march. The month began with this. Now it's ending with this story. The first person from that who was injured the first person to die from that story has now occurred on the last day of the month. And again, just to remind you guys, the attack was at the Pearl Street Mall, which has some very interesting numbers. The 177's big with the Jesuits. You know, the current leader of Israel is Benjamin Netanyahu, which is not his birth name. When he lived in the U.S., he had a very American name. Benjamin Netanyahu's had a number of names over the years if you want to look into it. But yeah, that was not always named. But Benjamin Netanyahu has the 177 encoding. State of Israel has the 201, like the Jesuit order. If you're new here, again, Israel, if you're new here, the Jesuits are responsible for the language, the calendar, pretty much this nation, the state of Israel, no doubt about it. Anyway, I'm just making the point about the familiar encoding of how they said this was anti-Semitism and, again, who's behind this. But as for the 42 piece, the word Holocaust means burnt offering, right? And the story is that fire was thrown at these pro-Jewish people, and it resulted in 13 injuries, is what they're now saying, and this was the first of the 13 people to die from those injuries. She lived all month and then dies at the end of the month from the burn. At least that's what we're told. But the actual Holocaust, the actual supposedly burning and gassing of Jews began in 42. In 42. And if you look into it, it's funny because it began on January 20th, 20/1, as the majority of the world would write it, like 201, leading to the eventual establishment of the State of Israel, which equals 201, like the Jesuit order equals 201, like Holocaust survivor equals 201, like David Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister, died 201 days from his birthday, like the Balfour on the Balfour Declaration died 201 days from the anniversary, or 201 days from his own birthday, et cetera, et cetera. Just a massive 201. And keep in mind, January 20th, 1942 was 20 years, or not 20 years. It was 5 years after the Sorry, lack of sleep over here. January 20th, 1942, when the Holocaust began, was 5 years after the U.S. had moved Inauguration Day to January 20th, which is the 201st day of the U.S.'s age. And don't forget, the United States started bringing the SS scientists after the war back to the U.S., or actually it was right before the war ended, really. It was at the tail end of the war. The U.S. first started bringing SS scientists to the U.S. with Project Paperclip on the 201st day of the year, July 20th, 1945. Again, the Jesuit Order 201, State of Israel 201, a million 201 rituals. Israel just attacked Iran on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left near 4 years to the day of Netanyahu stepping down from power. But yeah, this woman being 82 who died, that means she was in her 83rd year of life. You might recall we pointed out that the attack happened at the start of Shabbat, and you can see how that has the 83 in the base ciphers, like anti-Semitism, like Boulder, Colorado, like Colorado. Again, if you're new here, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language: alphabetic order, reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. The other thing that's interesting about her dying at 82 is it's a reminder that Tisha B'Av this year falls on August 2nd, 8/2, which will be the 666th day of the war between Israel and Hamas. And again, Tisha B'Av's to remember the destruction of the 2 temples and is tied to the prophecy of the coming 3rd temple. And in Jewish gematria, prophecy does equal 666. And a lot of people look at the temple described in Revelation as the 3rd temple to come for the Jews, which brings back their Messiah and the return of Jesus, but also destruction in the world, including fire from the sky. So, yeah, do you remember the way Tisha B'Av falls this year on 8/2, in light of this woman dying at 82? Again, in history, the temples burned. And again, just to remind about some of these things, they're selling the temple coin in Israel with Trump and King Cyrus on it and the 3rd temple on the others to raise funds to build the 3rd temple where Al-Aqsa Mosque is. There's actually a lot of chatter about this in the world right now. We've been talking about it for years, how it'll be the event that does come when World War III comes. And it doesn't seem like it's too far away based on all that's going on, including now nearly a decade of raising funds to build it with Trump's face on the coin. And August 2nd will come 49 days after Trump's birthday. Keep in mind, Trump is 79 right now. Knights Templar equals 79, like Society of Jesus. And the reason Israel is where it is because of the Knights Templar who used Al-Aqsa Mosque as their headquarters and called it Temple Mount. But yeah, again, just August 2nd falls 49 days after Trump's birthday or the 50th day of his age, going with the Temple coin, which is being used with his likeness. 49 ties in with Revelation, where the old 666 and Temple thing come together. From King Cyrus's death anniversary to August 2nd is 241 days, which is the 53rd prime, going with Tisha B'Av, going with Temple Mount, going with King Cyrus, going with religion. And Tisha B'Av is 82 and 28, like how August 2nd can be written 8-2 or 2-8. Tisha B'Av's also 134, like Make America Great Again. Also like One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which is taking money from a lot of other things to put more towards the military. And you think the first $1 trillion military budget, which Trump's administration has proposed, is that a sign that a much larger war we're on the verge of? This temporary ceasefire, people thinking all has been averted until the next stage ritual unfolds. Don't forget the 201st day of the year isn't too far off, July 20th. But yeah, this Karen Diamond thing, it does seem to also point to that 8-2 date. And again, just on this 181st day of the year, the 42nd prime, no doubt this is what they're paying tribute to. Again, Holocaust has to do with fire and is a burnt offering. The 82-year-old woman who's dead, her name is Karen Diamond. Just look at the overlap with Diamond and Holocaust. 33, 129. Remember, 129 is 201 in base 8 counting, like how the first executions per the history books were on the 20th day of the first month, 201, with all the other 201s in the year 42. Okay. Also dead in the headlines today. Relatively young former football player, dead at 53, played at Notre Dame, who lost in the championship this year to Ohio State on Inauguration Day, where J.D. Vance went to Ohio State, and then right after the game, Jody Vance, a bodybuilder from Columbus, died. Columbus is where Ohio State is, and don't forget how Johnny Gaudreau, the hockey star who was playing in Columbus, died right at the start of the college football season, and we told you right then, this is perfectly synced with the championship game, and sure enough, preseason, we had Ohio State, Georgia, and Notre Dame, all for futures for the championship. We had to cover 3 bases this year. We had Ohio State versus Notre Dame for the championship. We knew we were in the driver's seat. By the way, I got to tell you something funny that happened to me this weekend. A new level of trolling I had not seen. I think it was an attempt to get my PayPal taken down. And it was funny because it was on June 28th. June 28th was the day that my YouTube channel was deleted for the very first time in 2017, of course, on Elon Musk's birthday. But I had people that had sent in tips. People send me tips for the sports work we do. But people had sent tips over the course of the year. And instead of just sending them as like to send money, you know how when you're on PayPal, you can also send money as a purchase, and then they take a small fee out of it. So over the course of the year, a handful of people who had sent in tips, and they made it seem like it was for the sports accomplishments. Like one was recently for the Kentucky Derby, the other was for the Masters, the other was for March Madness, one for the college football championship. So all these things were sent in over the course of the year, and all of these people, they'd all sent them in as purchases. So on June 28th, what they all did was they all filed complaints with PayPal that I didn't fulfill sending them the rest of the purchase order. And even in their write-ups for their explanations, you know, they clicked the boxes for that, but they wrote like BS things. One of the reasons for not receiving the order was because I screwed up in my notes and had the wrong date numerology in September 2023. But anyway, just a handful of different people did this in the world on June 28th. And I followed the appeal thing and wrote like, okay, this person sent the money as a tip. It wasn't for a purchase. Like within 3 minutes, PayPal ruled in their favor. And I've never had this happen before on PayPal. But if you have a ruling against you, then you also have to pay PayPal a fine. So I had this happen 5 times on June 28th. I was like, what kind of weirdo troll crap is this now? But it's just a reminder that the trolls are always lurking around. And one of the write-ups was, you missed in the college championship. It's like, no, we didn't. We had preseason futures in for both teams, and we won a lot of money with Notre Dame taking them, because Notre Dame was like an upset in every single round of the college football playoffs this year. But yeah, anyway, now we have this death shortly after of a former Notre Dame player. But yeah, again, just 42 is the number stamped all over Black history, right? So this is in the news today, buzzing around on the 181st day of the year. Sports Illustrated's got a piece on it. The Steelers got a piece who drafted him. But notice, just dead at 53, right? First of all, that's a religion number, as we just covered. Religion's 53, played for the Catholic school Notre Dame. But then the other thing is 53 is this big football number because the shape of the football in sacred geometry is the Vesica Pisces, which equals 53 in Gematria. 53 in Gematria. And the NFL, for example, has a 53-man roster and a 53-yard wide field. 53-man roster, 53-yard wide field. Technically, it's 53 and a third yards. But yeah, it's not arbitrary, the 53 thing. And remember, 53 is the 16th prime number. And in Super Bowl 53, there were only 16 points. The score was 13-3. That was the year the Patriots beat the Rams. Patriots equals 53. Los Angeles 53. Boston Red Sox equals 53. That year, the Red Sox beat LA in the World Series as well. They beat them 4-1 99 days before Brady at age 41 defeated LA in the Super Bowl, with the star of LA being Aaron Donald, number 99, when Aaron Donald equals 99. And New England also equals 99. And that year, the Patriots came into the season with 523 franchise wins, which is the 99th prime number. And Aaron Donald's birthday is 523. We had that year lined up. Again, it was where it first dawned on me. I still remember it was TFR live on the show. It was early July, and I said, wait a minute. If the Red Sox beat LA 4-1 in the World Series, I said, Chris Sale is going to be part of that game. Chris Sale wore number 41 at the time, and he closed out that game. It did go down that way. We noticed in real time, we said, if the Red Sox win 4-1, that's 99 days from the last game of the 99th NFL season. We already knew Brady was going to the Super Bowl that year. It was obviously going to be Brady versus LA that year. There was a lot of other things besides just the 99 and 53 and 523. There was a lot of artifacts going into that season. But yeah, anyway, the point is 53, big time football number. 42, the number all over Black history. Jackie 42, slavery 42, Tuskegee 42, N-word 42, February Black History Month 42, and a million other things. He was drafted, this guy, by the only team that's publicly owned by Jesuits. That's the Rooney family, the Steelers. Jesuits also 42. He went from the Catholic school, Notre Dame, to the Jesuit-owned Steelers in the draft. He played 60 games for the Steelers. That is interesting because this is the year of Super Bowl 60. And the year that he was drafted by the Steelers was the year that they lost their first Super Bowl. They lost to the Cowboys 27-17. They fell to 4-1 in Super Bowls that year. The Steelers, like, Super Bowl equals 41. So does LA. Brady beat LA at age 41 in the year that the Red Sox beat LA 4-1 in the World Series. He also played for the Bengals. Bengals are one of the only teams in the NFL that have a 60 connection, and this year's Super Bowl 60 is 60 days after Joe Burrow's birthday. The other teams with the 60 connections are Indianapolis, which equals 60. Jim Irsay died in Jim Irsay died right before tip-off of the Pacers-Knicks Eastern Conference Finals. And he died at 65 in the finals again on 6-5, and the Pacers finished the year with 65 wins. I'm trying to remember what the 106 was with Jim Irsay's death. Jim Irsay died 106 days before the NFL season opener for the 106th season. This gentleman right here who's dead died 106 days from his birthday. Again, it's the 106th NFL season upcoming. Yeah, the other team with the 60 connection is the New York Jets. And we just talked about Jerry Philbin dying of the Jets, synced up with the upcoming season, as well as the Eagles, because Jerry Philbin, who played for the Jets and won Super Bowl III with the Jets, he did finish his career at the Eagles. This Oliver Gibson, he played 133 games. Remember, football equals 133. So does government. So does White House. It's an important thing to remember because the NFL was born 133 years to the day of the Constitution. Patrick Mahomes has the same birthday as the Constitution in the NFL, September 17th. He started in 57 games in his career. It's another championship-related number. So, again, we keep track of all these artifacts off-season during the season. Sadly, through these deaths are often the clues for what's to come. Who's going to the playoffs? Who's going to the big game? Oliver Gibson was born on the Ides of March, and it says, according to Wikipedia, his death was first announced June 29th. That was 106 days after his birthday, again with the 106th NFL season upcoming. Don't forget that black equals 106 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. Black Lives Matter equals 106. Their motto, I Can't Breathe, 106. BET had the hit show for years, 106 in Park. He died 20 weeks after the Super Bowl. Death is 20. 20 weeks is also 140 days. Again, he was drafted by Pittsburgh, and they're in Pennsylvania like the Eagles who won the Super Bowl. And in the time of World War II, they had to merge. The Steelers and Eagles became one team because there was less players in the league, and they were called the Steagles. So that's probably not an accident. 140 days after the Super Bowl. In light of being drafted 30 years ago, Saturn has a 30-year return, and Saturn is where the Grim Reaper comes from, the astrological symbol for Saturn. The sickle is what's used for the Grim Reaper's scythe. So, and just a reminder, too, you know, in astrotheology, the Old Testament God is Saturn, and Bible does have that 30 connection. Like Saturn's got the 30-year return. The ministry of Jesus, the Son of God, begins at age 30. There's a lot of 93 business with Saturn as well, and also Jesus in the New Testament. New Testament's the 930th chapter of Protestant Bibles. In Sumerian gematria, Christianity equals 930, but Science in 2012 came out and said they figured out Jesus' crucifixion date, and it was April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. Saturn's connected to death and judgment. Crucifix 93, God's Son 93, Nazareth 93. But yeah, Saturn, astrotheology, numbers, occult knowledge, same repetitious patterns over and over. I caught wind of this headline right before I was about to go live. U.S. revokes visas of British rap punk duo Bob. I don't know how it's pronounced. Vylan. Maybe it's a clever spelling of villain, but look at the spelling, you guys. 42. Bob, however you say it. Vylan, whatever. That's the spelling. 42 on the 181st day of the year. This is the news. Let's take a look here. U.S. revokes visas for musicians after ban leads chants against Israeli military. I thought we were the land of the free, home of the brave. I thought we had free speech. The London-based Bob, I'm just going to call him villain duo, called for the death of the Israeli military at the Glastonbury Music Festival over the weekend. I'll take a look at what that is. Says Bob Vylan, a British duo. Bob Vylan performs on the fourth day of the Glastonbury Festival at Worthy Farm in the village of Pilton in Somerset, England on June 28, 2025. The State Department has revoked visas for a London-based punk duo set to tour the U.S. in October after the band led a crowd of festival goers in England in calling for the death of the Israeli military over the weekend. Deputy State Secretary Christopher Landau confirmed Monday that the State Department had revoked U.S. visas for members of the band Bob Vylan over comments the group made at the Glastonbury Festival of Contemporary Performing Arts. The State Department has revoked the U.S. visas for the members of we're just going to call them BV, band in light of their hateful tirade at Glastonbury, including leading the crowd in death chants. Foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. I mean, can this country be any more Orwellian? What's the country that's doing all the killing right now? And it's mostly women and children, and it's just like a crazy amount. You know, they blew up all their hospitals, lots of schools. Foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. You know, based on that statement, man, there's a lot of people that could get thrown right out of here, aren't there? And I know, wasn't there just a march in Boulder cheering for these people? The State Department's decision came after BV, lead singer of the duo, led more than 200,000 attendees at the festival in chants of free Palestine and death to the IDF. The group has 20 performance dates planned for cities in the U.S. starting in October. It is unclear whether the band will still be able to perform this fall. It says the real name is Pascal Robinson Foster. They received backlash and support, of course, because they got the whole world divided on this crap. Everyone's under the same mind control. This same group of people, you're like, how do you feel about the Armenian genocide? I don't know about that because I haven't seen any Hollywood movies on it and it's not brought up in my daily programming, so I'm kind of apathetic. How do you feel about the genocide of the natives in North America? Well, it's not in my programming either, so I'm not really that emotionally attached, but I can't figure out that my own mind isn't really my own mind because I'm so attached to all the propaganda. That's what's annoying. That it's like, why can't everybody just see what's going on in the world? Why can't they see the way they're being manipulated? Like, what is wrong with people? Are they really this low functioning? Of course they are. Of course they are. But yeah, again, just more signs that the United States of America's nothing but mottos. Land of the free, certainly not. Land of the brave, are you kidding me? People are still outside in the summer with their muzzles on. There's some germs maybe in the air. I saw it in the news. His name is Robinson Foster. This guy got a Wikipedia. Robinson Foster is 34. This is another one of those numbers they use in the black shaming rituals. Black's got the 34. Pascal Robinson Foster. All right, let's try again. Does this guy have a Wikipedia? Whoops. Pascal Robinson Foster. Well, he doesn't have a Wikipedia pull-up. They must not be that famous. Got the 119 in his name, the 88. Interesting numbers. Star David, of course, has the 119. Jewish has the 88. Okay, but yeah, again, another obvious 42 ritual. This being the news on the 181st day of the year. And the Diddy trial, deliberations start today. Remember how he was arrested 49 days before his birthday and Bad Boys 49? Today's now 49 days after the trial began. But again, 181st day of the year, Puff Daddy, 42, freak offs, the word told a gazillion times in the time of, the lead up to this moment. The double 42, so deliberations start on the 181st day of the year, 42nd prime. And I'll remind you guys, just words like Freemason and Jesuit both have the 42. Freemason 42, Jesuit 42. Zionism, for the record, has the 42 also. Jesuit fingerprints all over the history of modern Zionism. And Jesuit fingerprints all over modern Freemasonry as well. DC, the capital, known as the Masonic City, in Sumerian gematria, just the letters DC, for the record, are also 42. They're working on passing one big, beautiful bill on the 4th of July for the latest 47 ritual for Trump. And, somebody, shout out to, it was Humanity Enslaved who left a comment. He pointed out a significance to the United States of America turning 249 years old that I had not thought of. It's what's on our dollar bill. Novus Ordo Seclorum is 249. God favors our undertaking. And what's interesting is that phrase is on the around the pyramid with the all-seeing eye on it. The 4th of July does fall this year on 56 date numerology. All-seeing eye has that 56. So I thought, It's interesting how it lines up. The 249th birthday falls on a 56 date numerology. 7 plus 4 plus 20 plus 25, 56. So. All right, hold on. No. I'm getting my Latin all screwed up. Novus Ordo Seclorum is not God favors our undertaking. That's the other phrase that's on there. That's Annuit Coeptus. That's Annuit Coeptus. Novus Ordo Seclorum is a new order of the ages. New. And new is attached to everything, right? The new world. When Columbus came here, paid for by the church, it was the new world. But just for the record, new has that 42 in it as well. War, World War, the U.S. deploying its troops to World War II in 42, the year that the burnt offerings began, as we talked about earlier. CNN is saying that America already has government state-run stores. Are they saying Walmart? As for subscribers, I'm definitely not a subscriber. Maybe they're talking about Walmart, since Walmart's highly paid for with our tax dollars. In that regard, I would agree. All right. If you guys have other things to add into today's news, stories we already covered, stories I'm overlooking, I am going to open up the phone line here. I got about 40 minutes until I got to go get Sweet Girl. Let's see. If you guys want to call in, it is the 509 number. The 509 number on the screen, 509-560-4982. If you guys want to phone in, that is the one. I noticed over the course of the last few days, they seem to have done that thing where they clamp down on the viewership because the views have been extra terrible. And I noticed it took quite a while to even get up to 100 people in today's live stream. So I think we're in some kind of extra suppression mode again. And maybe that was for the anniversary of being deleted the first time 8 years ago. Now 20-some deletions later. But yeah, the line is open. I see we have one super chatter. Thank you to that one person. Sound Mental said, Zach, did you see that former NFL star Chandler Jones dead at 33, brother of UFC John Jones? I did not. We can take a look at that as we speak. And again, you guys don't have to send me a super chat, but it is a way to guarantee that you get my attention because I'm usually not looking at the chat. I'm usually looking at what I'm presenting. I don't have like the dual monitor set up. All right, so it looks like this actually first broke 5 days ago. Another football player dead in a car crash at age 35. Car crash is 35. We've seen this one before. So he died at 35 in a car crash. Wait, here it says 33, as Wikipedia has said. Is this a different one? Is it a different Chandler Jones? Oh, it's a different Chandler Jones. All right, so we got multiple Chandler Jones. This one is 35. All right. Oh, yeah, I guess the headlines do say 33. Remember, I'm working on limited sleep over here. Former SJSU football player, NFL star Chandler Jones killed in car crash. Here, let me see what other Chandler Jones this is. Whoops. Must be this one right here. Born November 28th. Remember, 1128 is the super 47 date. 1128 is the 47th triangular number. Every year there's a big 47 ritual on that day. So if he died 5 days ago, we'll see if that's right. That would have been George Orwell's birthday, who has the quote about all it took to fill up their minds was football, beer, and gambling. He played for, so he went on to play for the 33 city Cleveland. That stands out in light of being dead at 33. Cleveland 33. San Jose State University football star and the school's all-time leader in career touchdown catches, Chandler Jones, died Sunday in a car accident. I'm guessing that since this was 5 days ago, it must have been the Sunday before last. So that would have been June 22nd. That was the same day that the NBA Finals ended. It was Iran time when the bombs were dropped. So we were told. Where the story is taken a complete 180. Total obliteration to not total obliteration. Yesterday, the United Nations comes out and says, oh, yeah, their nuclear program's still intact. And they do this on purpose, too, just so people just don't know what to think or believe. It's like right now, who's getting a lot of attention on social media? Well, she always has gotten a lot of attention. The one with fetal alcohol syndrome. What's her name? Candace Owens. She's pretty much become a lot more liberal in recent months, and that's brought even more attention to her by essentially doing a 180 on her political views. Just all part of the show. Oh, maybe next time around we'll vote for the Democrats and things will get better. Oh, wait, maybe we should go back to the Republicans. Maybe you should stop voting in rigged selections, supporting the lesser of two evils. Anyway, the story goes on. The 33-year-old former coach and player for the Canadian Football League's Montreal Alouettes. Is that how you say that? How do you say that, Canadians? What's that, Alouette? Was killed Sunday. We know that's a big football day. And by the way, Sunday is the one, there's only one day of the week that equals 33, and that's Sunday. Freeway crash around 2 a.m. in Los Angeles and died from blunt traumatic injuries, according to the medical examiner. I gotta let you know he's hit by someone in a Toyota RAV4 on the 90 freeway. Now, there's only two numbers that, when spelled out as words, that equal 33, and one of them is 90. 90's 33, the other's sweet 16. 16's 33, like 90. This was we had a hunch yesterday that the Dodgers would beat the Royals by 4 to become plus 90 for the year. Royals equals 90, and the Royals fell to plus 33 for the year on Sunday. You can check the box score. The Dodgers did win by 4. LA's also 4. These numbers do get paired together quite a bit. Jones grew up in LA and attended Bishop, Montgomery, and Torrance. Graduated in 2009. So 16 years ago, speak of the devil. 16 years ago. 16. Now he's dead at 33. Dead on the 90. Funny, I just reminded about the pairing of 90 and 16 and 33 this morning on our Patreon sports stream. I'm telling you, you learn these numbers, you just see how they come together over and over again because it's ritual. It's Kabbalistic magic. It is with great sadness that we share the passing of alum Chandler Jones. Jones was a standout player on Bishop's football team and still holds the record for longest kickoff return, 97 yards. 97 is the 25th prime. We've seen a lot of 97 in 2025. And since it's LA, remember, LA burned up at the start of the year on the 97th day of the mayor's age, not to mention fire equals 25. Longest fumble recovery for a touchdown, 98 yards as well. Jones continues to hold San Jose State's record for receptions, 248. That's how old the U.S. is right now, 248. It'll turn 249 on July 4th. Yeah, I don't think that's an accident. It's crazy how they get away with, he wore 89 and dies in L.A. There's a number for L.A. Los Angeles, California. 89, the baseball team, Los Angeles Dodgers, 89. If I'm not mistaken, Jackie Robinson, 89, now technically played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. King James, remember when Cavs came back from 3-1 and won on the real King James's birthday? The Warriors went down in Game 7 on the birthday with 89 points. This is posted the day after Sunday. June 22nd was Sunday. You know, June 22nd also did have 53 date numerology, like Los Angeles is 53, like they lost in Cyril 53. The full date numerology would have been 73, sacrifice 73, ritual sacrifice 73. I'm trying to remember. Car accident? Let me see. No. No. Yeah, again, played for Cleveland, 33. Then went to the Colts, one of the teams with the 60 connections. He also played for Tampa Bay, which equals 137, the 33rd prime. What is a San Jose State college nickname? What are they called? Can't think of it. They are the Spartans. San Jose State. He had the record 31 touchdowns at San Jose State. We just read that. San Jose State's 31. 31 is the 11th prime. Like football is a game of 11 on 11. He died 206 days after his birthday. We were just talking about how he died on 73 date numerology. Remember, in Jewish gematria, sacrifice is 206. Like there's 206 bones in the adult body. So on 73 date numerology, 206 days after his birthday. Something tells me it wasn't a car accident. And Chandler, yeah, Chandler's got the 38 and 43, like RIP, 38 like death. Chandler's also 161 like Los Angeles. Chandler Jones. You know what else stands out looking at his full name? Like I said, the Thunder won the championship that day. And remember, their coach has the 223 birthday. But you see how his name's 223? Just like Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder 223. Chandler Jones dead the same day. Yeah, I think that's what it's really about. And, you know, being dead at 33, that's an NBA Finals number as well. So that also stands out. The day a championship concludes. I mean, it's hard for there not to be a death in the world of sports entertainment on the day a championship begins, ends. I mean, this stuff just goes on every year. Every year. Fox first published their story about this on Freemasonry's birthday, the day we got the 33-year-old primary winner in New York. Probably also not an accident. American football credited the Freemason with the last name Camp, another 33. Dead 2 days before Freemasonry's birthday. Okay. Good one. Appreciate that. Thank you for the generosity. And I'll have to add a post to the website there for that. I don't think we... Let me see. I didn't miss any calls. Nobody's tried to call in. If you guys do want to phone in, got a little... Like about 30 minutes, I got to wrap this thing up. Crazy how much insurance costs have gone up in recent years. I just got the memo for my automatic payment for insurance. It's like, jeez. Doubled in the last few years. I made a single claim, but it's the same. All of us are going through the same thing, and it's all because of all the agendas. 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Okay. I can see what else is buzzing in the news if we don't have any callers. I can also wrap this thing up early too. Israeli strike on Gaza seafront cafe kills at least 20 Palestinians. It's like, see, the people who support this, I mean, that's considered totally acceptable in the U.S. And of course, it's mostly our tax dollars paying for these strikes too. But man, you say you're not in favor of this. You got your visa revoked. Jurassic World Rebirth getting bad reviews. Uh-oh. Jury sends note to judge as they deliberate in Sean Diddy Combs trial. Let's see how Al Jazeera is covering it. Well, on Al Jazeera, it's 30 dead. On the BBC, it's 20 dead. So either way, that's a lot of people again. Another death toll from an hour ago. So that's a new separate story. This was an hour before that. At least 85 killed today. And at least 85, I mean, does that number stand out to you? Remember, the whole war began on October 7th, the day leaving 85 days left in the year. The reason Israel is where it is because of the Templars. Templar 85, the Templar cross and the Jesuit Orders logo above the Isus Hominum Salvator, which equals 85. 917, when I picked up, it hung up. Call back 917. When I picked up, it did that instant hang up thing. So, but yeah, 85. And again, we invaded Afghanistan on the same day, October 7th, the day leaving 85 days left in the year. George W. Bush referred to it as a crusade, which were waged by the Templars. We know that the day that Iran was bombed by the U.S. was the same day the finals ended, and Mark Daigneault, the coach of the Thunder, he started out as a Holy Cross Crusader for the Jesuit University. What's up, 917?
You ever looked into the King David incident in 1946?
King David, 1946?
Yeah, the incident.
King David hotel bombing?
At the hotel? Yeah.
I don't know if I have looked into that before.
Yeah, King, it happened on July 22nd, I think.
I got it up. I put the Wikipedia up on the screen for it. Yeah.
It happened July 22nd, and that's the day leaving 126 days left in the year, and King David equals 126.
That's the day leaving 162 days left in the year, or the first of the last 162 days.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a little dyslexic. I'm sorry. Yeah, King David equals 162, and that's the day leaving 162 days left in the year. Yeah. You follow?
Oh, I know that for sure, because it's the day after my birthday. Yeah, how perfect. Yeah, on the day leaving 162 days left in the year. How about it?
Yeah, but if you write out King David hotel bombing, it equals 203, and that was the 203rd day of the year as well.
If you write out King David hotel bombing, is that what you just said?
Yeah. It equals 203.
Yeah, 203rd day of the year. I mean, you see the 112 as well. That reminds you of the Balfour Declaration. 104, like Roman Catholic Church. It's just...
You know that those were that was the small hats dressed up as the natives. You heard those were Zionist small hats dressed up as natives. It was a false flag.
Yeah. So that was not quite 2 full years before Israel officially became a nation.
It was against the British. It was a false flag because of the it was a whole thing. If you know about it, you know about it. I don't want to get censored.
Yeah, it's crazy how, and it annoys me how this knowledge just really exposes everything that's been going on, and so few people care. So, yeah, I never covered this one before, though.
I don't want to keep saying it, but King David Hotel bombing equals 203 and then King David Hotel equals 162, like 160. Yeah. So they I don't know. I ain't do nothing with the Pope, like measuring to the Pope or the CIA. Like I didn't do anything.
Here, I'll
like
point
that.
out
I just
another
saw this
thing.
and I was like,
King David hotel bombing equals 104. And look how Roman Catholic Church is 94 and 104. And keep in mind, terror is 94 as well. Like the World Trade Center's up on the 94th day of the year. But the attack happened on 94 date numerology.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
The attack happened on 94 date. Can I finish making the point? The attack happened on 94 date numerology, 94 weeks before Israel became a nation.
Wow. Yeah, I see it. I was gonna say it's Pope Pius. He was the Pope, I think, at that time.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, and then they had they did it was what 201 days from the CIA founding or something like that.
The CIA was founded on the 201st day of his age. Yeah, and again, the CIA was created just days after Israel was drawn up by the United Nations in 47, and now all this craziness happened in the time of number 47.
Wow, so I see the 104 in terms. Yep. Wow, amazing, right? They doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something else I had here for you too that was interesting. If I find it out, I forgot what it was. It was something else that was real interesting too. But if I find it out, I'll let you know.
All right. All right.
Thanks, Zach. Your work is amazing. Your work is amazing as always. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Great addition to history. More news by the numbers. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, again, all those stuff's been going on since before any of us were around. That's why I always say you learn this code and you just look. From the 16th century on, it's been news and history by the numbers. But yeah, again, King David hotel bombing, 203 in the most simple, 203rd day of the year. King David alone, 162 in reverse. The day leaving 162 days left in the year. How perfect. And I'm sure there's more if you go back and look at who was in power and the way it lined up with them. 46 injured in 46. Let's see, this King David Hotel, what's its location? It's on the 35th meridian, big Catholic number. 31st parallel opens in 31, the 11th prime. 237 rooms, the prime factors of 42. Frank Goldsmith made it. He was alive when it happened. He would have been almost 68 years old when the hotel was bombed. He was 67 at the time. He ended up dying at 67 on Valentine's Day of all days. His birthday is the day of the JFK assassination anniversary. Okay, yeah, very interesting addition. It says we got 181 people watching on the 181st day of the year. How about that? All right. Another flow, you're just hogging up the chat and you're talking about video game controllers. You look like a troll. Just spamming up the chat. It's just, if you're not a troll, it's bad etiquette. Just spamming, just nonsense that has nothing to do with anything. Check out the email you sent on June 24th. I don't know which email you sent it to. It's a lot of emails to go back and filter through at the moment. Okay. 20. There's a lot of 20s in the news today too. The Al Jazeera discrepancy with 30 on the 30th is another interesting thing. This Sinaloa cartel. Do you remember earlier this year the big arrest with that, or was it the end of last year? The way time flies by. Hold on. Just want to go back to this ritual. Oh my God! It was that long ago. Never mind. It was almost a year ago. Jeez. It didn't feel like it was that long ago to me. The 76-year-old Sinaloa cartel leader was arrested on 76 date numerology in the U.S., the land since 1776. And, Pope Francis was still kicking back then. The arrest was 221 days after his birthday, like Sinaloa Cartel's 221. Reminder, the Jesuits gave us the language and the calendar as we know it. The Pope was still 87 then. The Sinaloa Cartel was established in 87. It's no secret the CIA works with these cartels. I mean, they even make Hollywood movies about it now. That Sicario movie. CIA, assassin from the cartels, tricking an FBI agent so they can operate domestically. And like I said, there's terrorists coming across the border in part 2 of that Sicario series. And they're blowing up their bomber vests in Missouri, like how you just had the White Man bombers, or the bombers out of White Man Air Force Base in Missouri. Like they're trying to bring about that narrative straight from the Sicario series. They connected this story to El Chapo as well, and it was 112 days after his birthday. Like the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. All right. Just a little reminder since there's a story up about them today. Okay. All right, one last spin through the headlines. If I don't see anything else going on, I think I'll wrap it up. Oh, today Trump threatens Japan with new tariffs. Okay, that fits in with the 42. Japan 42. What a day to threaten Japan with tariffs. It's also the 30th of the month going with Japan. Okay. Let me see if the image that they put out for the Fox News story looks different. All the images I've seen of this guy looks like a bad AI. Do they even have a picture of him in the article? They decided not even to put in the picture in the article. No wonder why. It just doesn't even look real. I think that's part of it too. They know the people who know the news is fake and see what's wrong with it. Like, they're the ones that look at these things and try and tell their friends and family, and their friends and family who aren't paying attention, they're like, you say you're such a conspiracy theorist. Like the automatic line out of everyone's mouth who's never done any research on anything and just believes all the bullshit. What's up, 407? Oh, hold on. I screwed up something. I hit the wrong button, it looks like. Let me try that again. All right, let's try it again. What's up, 407?
Yeah, what's up? I was just in the chat reading, and then someone reminded me of the story. Another 42 for today is on the sports side, Malik Beasley. I think, what team is he on? He's still on the Bucks. I don't remember. Oh, I think he's on the Pistons now. But yeah, he's in the news, sports gambling allegations. And he was actually in the process of signing for $42 million contract extension. So that's on pause now because of supposed gambling. But just another 42 that goes the 181st day.
And Detroit on the 42nd parallel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really look into it. There's probably more, but yeah, it was just another 42.
All right. Yeah, there it is right there. Malik Beasley, Pistons expect to agree on 3-year, $42 million deal before gambling allegations. Oh my God. Yeah, I just don't get why everybody's not on board with what we're teaching about over here. It drives me nuts. It's like, oh, God, day like today, everything is 42.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a joke. Appreciate that. Great observation as always. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's one of the many players who dated Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, Larsa Pippen. Her and Michael Jordan's son dated her too. So there's probably more that we could find on this story, but the 24 is the main thing. They made a big point. He was about to get re-signed for $42 million, but they paused it.
Yeah, what a joke. What a joke.
But yeah, I appreciate your call, and that was a good find by Tree 32, the hotel bombing.
Yeah, indeed.
So there's always stuff in the past and more to come, as we know.
Absolutely. All right, man. Appreciate the additions.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, Detroit's the city on the 42nd parallel. And just the sitcom Martin equals 42. He lived in apartment 42. Detroit, Michigan, for the record, also equals 83, like it's on the 83rd meridian. Don't try to play it in baseball, though, this year. They took the 83 away from Detroit. Detroit Tigers also equals 83. Historically, that number smashes there. This year, every time it comes up, it misses. And that's the downside of this knowledge. Just now that so many people know about it and these patterns, it's like they had to switch up the game a little bit. Here, let's see how this lines up with his birth. Or here, we can just go to Basketball Reference. Malik Beasley. 216 days after his birthday. It'd be funny if he ended up in Cleveland instead. Go to Cleveland with 21.6 million instead. Okay. All right. We finally got over 181 viewers. We're up to 193. Still can't even get to 200. Yeah. The whole thing about Candace Owens, though, is, I mean, you know, she still treats the political machine like it's legitimate. This whole switch up thing, I guarantee, is just another ploy. She's a puppet on strings. She's just doing what she's told. But just like listening to her right now, it's just like her stuff's popping up on my feed too. She's like, somebody's out to get me and Tucker. It's like, oh yeah, Tucker Carlson, yeah, real great truth teller, the guy who shamed people on TV for 20 years for questioning 9/11, who now all of a sudden isn't a hardline Zionist like he was for the past 20 years. It's just, no, I mean, anyone still listening to Tucker Carlson in the 2020s doesn't know anything about anything. And so many people are convinced he's one of the greatest truth tellers out there. It's like, he's one of the greatest cover-up artists of the biggest lie of all time for our lifetimes. And all of these people are complete frauds who lead everybody to all the wrong places. What's up, 917?
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, of course, Robert Kennedy Jr. sits down 101 days from his birthday with Tucker Carlson. Of course.
Oh, hold on. I gotta switch over the audio because it went to the glitch thing. I don't know why this thing works fine and then starts glitching out. What is it with RFK Jr.?
I said, of course, RFK Jr. sits down to do a podcast with Tucker Carlson today, 201 days before his birthday. Of course.
Before Tucker Carlson's?
Yeah, he sat down and did an interview today with Carlson, Robert Kennedy Jr. I think it's 201 days until his January 17th birthday.
Speak of the devil. All right, yeah, I'll check that out. Appreciate that.
Yeah, 201.
Yeah, 201 indeed.
Same.
All right, thanks, man. Again, RFK Jr. went to Georgetown Prep, Jesuit educated. Huh. Nothing's popping up for today. Oh, it was published today. Okay. Well, Google is hiding this interview though, because nothing's popping up on Google until you do this. Remember, they keep doing all this Mercury stuff with RFK Jr. Mercury is the only element on the periodic table that has the atomic mass of pretty much 201. It's here. Technically, you do have to round a little bit, but yeah, it's 200.59. So rounding, it's right there at 201. And remember, the greatest 201 Mercury joke is the arrest in the Mercury Marquis on a Wednesday, the day of the week named after Mercury, of this guy, the supposed OKC bomber. Let's see. Tucker Carlson's born May 16th. You must be saying 201 days from RFK Jr.'s birthday. His birthday is January 17th. So maybe to RFK Jr.'s upcoming birthday is what you figured. Today's 45 days after Tucker Carlson's birthday, the 46th day of his age. Yeah, to RFK Jr.'s upcoming birthday is 201 days. Okay, I see. RFK Jr. will turn 72 that day because he's born in 54. Jesuit orders 54 and 72. You know, that's another thing to think about with just the whole Jesuit ritual of 9/11. In light of the Jesuits in 54, Bush had just won the 54th election before 9/11 happened. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of calls, but we got some great additions in the calls we did have. We got about 200 people watching. We got 95 likes. That means less than half the people who've come through have hit the like. If you don't mind hitting the like on the way out, it's supposed to help the algorithm. Then again, Google will probably take the likes away before long. And yeah, after the video posts, very few people do it, but thanks to those who do, if you guys can just come by and leave a comment, a one-word comment is sufficient. That's all. I do think that helps out more than anything, just leaving a comment, not in the live chat right now, but when the stream ends. So, if anybody else did want to call in, last chance for phone calls, because I do got to go get Sweet Girl. I got to be there in 8 minutes. It's not too far away, though, but one last chance for a call. And also, if anybody's out there and would like to support the work, the link for the Patreon is in the description. If anybody wants to pledge $1, we've lost 500 Patreons over the last 6 weeks. That's unfortunate because I know there's been nothing wrong with the coverage over the last 6 weeks. So, again, if anybody does want to support, the support is appreciated. $1 a month really actually does go a long way. For anybody out there thinking it's just $1, it adds up when 500 different people are pledging $1. What's up? What's up, Mr.
Hey, Zach.
201 Observations in LA? What's going on?
I got another 201 for you. I was watching this new A24 film, The Death of a Unicorn.
Okay.
Kind of funny, original. It's starring Jenna Ortega, and her birthday is September 27th.
Who's Jenna Ortega?
But she's just like up and coming. She's probably getting big the past 5 years.
The girl who plays Wednesday. The girl who played Wednesday, and then right after that came out, the original Wednesday actress died. Okay, I see.
Yeah. But the movie where they hit the unicorn with their car. Right before they hit the unicorn, he's speeding up, and they focus on the odometer, and they have to show that it's 2:01 when they hit the unicorn.
Amazing.
And then right after that, the unicorn's horn lights up, and Jenna Ortega's character grabs the horn, and she goes into like some kind of trance and reaches enlightenment and becomes connected to this unicorn, and that's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, go figure. Well, hey, always with the good 201 observations.
The plot of the movie is really they find out this unicorn has magical healing properties, and so the father, that's played by Paul Rudd, his boss is this billionaire of a pharmaceutical company, and they just want to exploit the unicorn's properties for profit.
I see.
But they have to point out that it was at 2:01 when they hit the unicorn, which is like the whole time the plot takes place in the movie.
Yeah.
That's the turning point in the movie.
Yeah. And in the beginning, my cousin Vinny is rolling up in his car with a big fat 201 on the license plate too. It's all over the place if you look. So appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care. Phil point out in the movie In Too Deep, they got to go to room 201. There's a lot of it. Yeah, Lisa Loring, the original Wednesday, died at 64 when that new hit show came out on Netflix with Jenna Ortega. She plays Wednesday. And somebody else was just trying to call in. If you want to call in real quick, I can take one more call. But again, dead at 64. Addams Family came out in 64. Her name equals 64. Of course, kill equals 64. And the Addams Family ran from 64 to 66. She died 66 days after the new Wednesday had come out. And Ortega does equal 66. Yeah. Jenna Ortega has that, September 27th birthday, big day to the Jesuits. He's making the point about the 201 in the movie starring her. And what's sad is, someday, I wouldn't be surprised someday, she's 64 years old and the same thing happens to her. But, that Lilo and Stitch has a movie come out and the voice actor from It's dead, and just over and over this same type of stuff. And nobody blinks an eye. And that's what I mean with the Candace Owens of the world. These people don't talk about anything that matters. Why isn't Candace Owens talking about this? She even got in on the flat earth psyop. She's just out for attention and views. And she's acting like some cabal's after her and trying to hold her down. She's getting 1 million views per video on YouTube. I mean, she's getting paid all the riches in the world. Crazy endorsements. It's annoying listening to these people acting like they're going through what yours truly's going through. Actually being sabotaged, Total suppression, mass deletion, finally get on a platform where we can get views again. X deleted as soon as the administration takes office. It's just, that's what real suppression looks like. Listen to Candace Owens be like, oh, just because I changed some of my views, it's like, shut up, man. Getting 1 million views a video. That's not any kind of suppression by big tech, please. All right, we got to 111 likes. Thanks to the additional people who hit the like. Yeah, I don't get sweet girl, you guys. Thanks again to everyone who does support the work, who does hit the like, and who does leave a comment after the stream, which you can do in about 5 seconds. Have a good day.